Hello, Lieutenant Kayla Detmer here from Star Trek Discovery, here to ask you to join in with Commodore Ty to discover the world of pop culture. The adventure has begun.
Incoming message from Commodore Ty.
Hello, this is your Commodore Ty Coles here, and happy St. Patrick's Day to you all. And to celebrate, let's look at Star Trek's favorite Irishman, Chief Miles Edward O'Brien. Miles O'Brien was born in September of 2328 in Killarney, Ireland.
Brian, is it? I should have known from be a good Irishman who was running this ship.
His father was Michael O'Brien, but to find what his mother was named, you have to look a lot deeper into Memory Beta, where his mother was called Megan, and he had two brothers, Bill and Cully. And according to Memory Alpha, his mother passed away in 2368. He is also a descendant of the Irish High King, Brian Boru.
How come you get to be High King? I am a direct descendant of King Brian Boru. Besides, it's my program.
Information on King Brian Boru.
Accessing.
Brian was born in Kincora, Killaloe, and was the youngest of Kennetic's 12 sons. As the youngest of such a large brood of potential successors, Brian was far from likely to inherit his father's position in Thomond. The death of his father at the hands of the Vikings of Limerick are thought to have had a great effect on Brian. In 1002, Brian finally ascended to the illustrious, though largely titular rank, of High King.
We learn at a young age that his father wanted him to play the cello, of course, but he went off and joined Starfleet.
I got in. It was the happiest day of his life. I didn't know how to tell him I didn't want to go. So 2 days before I was due to leave, I went into town and signed up for Starfleet.
But you do see O'Brien play the cello in The Next Generation. His rank is somewhat a mystery though, because in some episodes of The Next Generation, he's a lieutenant.
App station, Lieutenant.
I see.
Lasers on stand.
But in Deep Space Nine and other episodes of Next Generation, he is officially known as a Chief Petty Officer.
Always good to meet another Chief Petty Officer. Sergei Rozhenko, formerly of the USS Intrepid.
Miles Edward O'Brien.
And his rank was officially announced as the Senior Chief Petty Officer. He was the tactical officer on the USS Rutledge.
I had no idea you were on the Enterprise. This was my tactical officer on the Rutledge. Best I ever had. Thank you, sir.
What class starship was the USS Rutledge?
Accessing. The New Orleans class is a Federation starship that is often designated as a frigate. It was in service in the mid-24th century and has several design elements with the Galaxy class. It also features 3 sensor pods along the saucer and a secondary hull.
And he did witness the aftermath of the massacre of Celtic 3 after the Cardassians were done with it.
It was on Setlik 3. A squad of Cardassian militia made a sneak raid on an outpost. Wiped out close to 100 civilians.
So that really changed him. He was also, in Season 1, the helmsman of the Enterprise D. But later moved and became the transporter chief. He did do tactical for a bit.
Sir, begin long-range scans of the Romulan border.
No uncloaked ships within sensor range. A few subspace anomalies, but nothing firm.
He was then relocated to Deep Space Nine, where he became Chief Operations Officer. While there, he did show his enjoyment for history, and with him and Dr. Bashir took part in many recreations of famous historical battles.
Mind if you finest bit of my mate. Make it quick. The cabbage crates will be coming back over to Bryony any minute now.
All right. I'd hate to let the Jerry strafe that green and pleasant land of yours while the two of you were taking time out to get a drink.
He married Keiko on the Enterprise D.
And so, it is my honor to unite you, Keiko Ishikawa, and you, Miles Edward O'Brien, together in matrimony.
She gave birth to their first kid with the help of Worf.
I am pushing!
The baby is emerging head first. I have the baby.
And Kira gave birth to their second kid due to some medical problems that occurred.
That's right. Breathe.
While there, we learned that Chief O'Brien was somewhat of a military and combat expert because he took part in 235 separate battles and was decorated by Starfleet 15 separate times.
The record, Chief O'Brien has been in 235 separate engagements, and Starfleet has decorated him 15 times. I would like to have him declared an expert in the area of starship combat.
Also, while stationed at Deep Space Nine, he did deal with some trouble when the Cardassians accused him of being a member of the Maquis.
Is anyone ever going to tell me what I'm supposed to have done? Commander Sisko informed me a few hours ago that 24 photon warheads are missing from the station. We believe they may have been in your runabout's cargo bay, intended for the Maquis.
And he actually died in 2371 during a time shift, some delta radiation, but the O'Brien he met in the future came back and took his place, so technically he's not dead.
Go!
But it's all...
I hate temporal mechanics.
And after the Dominion War is done, Miles Edward O'Brien moves back to Earth with his family to take a job at Starfleet Academy and becoming a professor of engineering.
I see. Somebody has to teach you, officers, the difference between a warp matrix flux capacitor and a self-sealing stem bolt.
So there is a lot to talk about Miles Edward O'Brien. He's a very compelling character. Started with almost no backstory and became one of the most beloved characters in Star Trek history. And we learned a lot about him. Miles O'Brien had arachnophobia.
Arachnids. Sickening, crawly little things, don't you think? All those legs.
Spiders, that never bothered me.
A few years back,
He also enjoyed kayaking on the holodeck.
I'd never seen so many of my crew depressed at the same time. But for some reason, it now seems as though a new spirit has swept through the station, as if someone had opened a door and had...
He enjoyed playing darts.
Sorry, Commander.
He enjoyed his coffee in a Jamaican blend, double strong, double sweet.
Hot coffee, black, double sweet. Coffee, Jamaican blend, double strong, double sweet.
And many other small little facts that we learned throughout his time in Star Trek.
Trust me, I know you can do it. All those years you spent as a child building those model starship engines.
We learned that Miles O'Brien is only second to Worf in the amount of time he's seen in Star Trek. He is even mentioned in Star Trek Lower Decks.
Somebody even more important, perhaps the most important person in Starfleet history, Chief Miles O'Brien.
So let's all raise a pint for our favorite Irishman in Star Trek, Chief Miles Edward O'Brien.
One sword at least thy rights shall guard, one faithful harp shall praise thee.
For your Commodore Tycols, live long and prosper. Hailing frequencies closed.
Thank you for watching the video. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, watch one of my many other videos, and if you like what you see, you can support the channel by donating to my PayPal.
So, for Commodore Ty, live long and prosper all, and for now, until next time, the hailing frequencies are closed.